Hey, good morning, everybody, and thank you for coming back to another broadcast over here at the LS Network. Last night when I left you guys, I had no power. I said I was going to be doing an update if I had power back last night on the mall shooting inside of New York. And I didn't get to that video, but I'm going to do the update here. And as well as other things happening around the world that you guys may not know about. So we're going to go ahead and hop into this really quick. And this goes back to the mall shooting. The article that I'll post has a video in it. You guys can see the video. But two were injured in the shooting inside the upstate New York mall. Now, they're stipulating that two people have been injured, but it wasn't a criminal act. It's not like someone was trying to, rob anyone or any act of violence. But two people were wounded Sunday after gunfire erupted in an upstate mall, authorities said. Now, this is the last closest updated article that I can find. Maybe they'll have more updates about it later on today. Again, it's like 8:30 in the morning over here on the East Coast, so maybe they haven't gotten out. But it happened at the Galleria at Crystal Run in Middletown. It was evacuated after an unidentified man fired shots that ricocheted off the floor at around 3:30 p.m. So basically, this gentleman had the gun in his pocket, and it misfired. Don't know how that happened. Footage posted on to Instagram by Grimsland Almanzar showed police in tactical gear running down the corridor as shoppers fled in the other direction. So I can imagine you just had some chaos, especially right after Black Friday, So it wasn't clear whether he initially fired the gun or if the victims were targets. Hartman did not say. So again, like I said, this is the last updated post that I can find from anywhere that's talking about this. So there's still a lot of ifs and whats and who's and hows and blah blah blah. But needless to say, you're in a mall. It's a gun-free zone. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for, I believe citizens should be armed. Because again, it would stop a lot of mass shootings. We see most of the mass shootings happening in gun-free zones. So it doesn't, this isn't speculating whether or not this man was, again, shooting at people or if it just misfired in his pocket. However, it really brings me to wonder if this individual was even allowed to carry a gun. He's carrying a gun in a gun-free zone and not even attached to his hip, not in a holster or nothing, just casually sitting in his pocket. Again, there's not a whole lot of information on it. It was crazy and chaotic. That's what the article was saying. No, I'm sure too. I mean, shit. Sitting there getting some Christmas presents for the family and bah, 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 bah. Gunfire just everywhere. And that seems like to be the new norm here around the world nowadays anyways. So that's one post, and that's from New York Post. New York Post also reported last night, let me click over to it, that an off-duty officer shoots a thief inside a Texas mall. Hang on, give me a minute. Alright, here we go. Arlington, Texas, police said an off-duty officer shot a suspected shoplifter near the food court at a busy Dallas area shopping mall. Arlington police spokesman Lieutenant Christopher Cook tells WFAA-TV the incident occurred late Sunday afternoon after a theft was reported at a store inside the parks at Arlington Mall. I didn't know nothing about this until this morning. Recommended searches pulled this up when I was looking into the New York Mall. So I figured, we're already on the talks of malls and guns. Why not? Authorities said no one was injured. The rest of the mall closed early as police evacuated the remaining shoppers. Cook says the male suspect produced a replica handgun and was shot by an officer who thought the weapon was real. So it was a fake gun. The unidentified suspect was taken to an area hospital. His condition is not yet unknown. I'll have to look for an updated article on this. This is, like I said, when I was looking up the New York mall shooting, recommended search showed this article as well, so I clicked on it and again figured I'd talk about it to you guys. Alright, so let's go ahead and hop into another one. Again, all these articles I'm talking about, I will post in the links in the description for you guys. If you guys want, you guys can sort through the ones that you guys want to read and then read further into it. Also happening around the world, I don't know if most of you guys know, but the volcano in Bali, it erupted for the second time within the last couple of weeks. It just it spit out a lot of volcanic ash. It didn't blow its top off, like, you know, whenever people say, you know, I know a lot of people, when you say, you know, volcano erupted, a lot of people think of molten lava and rock and ash and looks like a plume cloud from a nuclear bomb. And that's not the case. You know, we've noticed, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but me, you know, when I started talking about the loud booms, I talked about me listening to BP Earthwatch. And I've been following BP Earthwatch for about a year. I want to say probably about 6 months before I decided to start going on YouTube myself and sharing the knowledge. You know, there's been a very large uptick in earthquake activity, volcano activity, wildfires. And then now, you know, everyone's talking about loud booms being heard from around the world, and with BP's evidence talking about the solar minimum, and we may not be getting enough energy to the core of the earth, and it's causing the earth to slow down, which is causing tremendous pressure on all this rock that's cracking, and that's probably what you hear, the big booms. Again, you know, we know that we're having an uptick in earthquake activity. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, a couple months ago, I did a poll on my social media pages. You know, and you know, basically what causes earthquakes, and a lot of people did have really good evidence. You know, well, earthquakes happen all the time. You know, the plates are constantly moving, and I agree with that. You know, we have smaller tremors and, you know, smaller quakes, deep quakes. But what we're talking about, what we're reporting on, is bigger quakes that's happening more frequently. You know, quakes over the 5s, 6s. We've even seen 7s. And it's been happening quite a bit this year. This year alone, we've had an uptick in hurricane weather. You know, if you guys remember Harvey and all those other hurricanes. So, you know, this is just another thing that I'm looking at, you know, with the solar flares and magnetosphere and how everything attacks and builds pressure. I really think that this has something to do with that. Again, that's my opinion. But the volcano rumbled into life with a series of eruptions that temporarily just disrupted some international flights to the popular Indonesian island tourist destination. Mount Agung erupted on Saturday evening and 3 times early Sunday, lighting its cone with an orange glow and sending ash 4,000 meters into the atmosphere. And in the article, there's actual video showing the volcano going. It's actually a pretty cool video. And then it shows a map, you know, precisely where this location is at. If a lot of you guys don't know where Bali is. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll post that article. Let's go ahead and talk about North Korea. I brought out a couple days ago how North Korea and Kim Jong-un...
You think it's possible we will see the use of nuclear weapons?
Sorry. How Kim Jong-un fired some of his top commanders. And this article is just talking about just that. Give me a minute. My laptop is running so slow, guys. I'm having a hard time bringing this stuff to you guys with this laptop. World War III, North Korea, nuclear threat more probable than ever. Ex-U.S. defense head warns. I'm sorry, guys. I'm still like half asleep. This is like my daily routine. I wake up, I get on YouTube, and I make a video. It's uncensored. It is what it is. Retired Admiral Mike Mullen said that the United States increasingly violate relationships with the Hermit Nation, and it's unpredictably increased the likelihood dictator Kim Jong-un would use nuclear weapons. Mr. Mr. Mullen told ABC this week on Sunday, I think it's more probable than it used to be, and it scares me to death, quite frankly. And it is. You know, I mean, we've been trying to have diplomatic solutions with Kim for the last couple of years. Even the Obama administration, even though I don't think Obama's administration was as vocal and as forthcoming, you know, with John Kerry. I think they were more focused on the Middle East, you know, Syria, their whole agenda over there, which I brought out to you guys a couple of days ago as well, that United States has come out and said that they are no longer going to be helping the Kurdish forces inside of Syria. And then just come to find out that United States is building an even bigger military base in northern Syria. Now, we all know with everything that's going on with, if you guys paid attention, you know, Saudi Arabia and Lebanon, Iran's in the mix, and then Israel's in the mix. We know President Trump stands with Israel. So, you know, speculation is that maybe we might be setting up a military base in northern Syria just so if a war breaks out in that area, we'll be close to our allies and we can hurry up and get to them and protect them. Again, that's all for speculation right now. All right, so another thing. There is a massive explosion in China. Deaths as major explosions flattened parts of Chinese port city. An explosion happened at a factory. Factory explosion at port city south of Shanghai on Sunday killed at least 2 people and injured at least 30 others, as it knocked down buildings and left streets littered with damaged cars and debris. The explosion struck a factory in a riverfront neighborhood in Ningbo. Chinese names, I can't do it. One of the China's busiest ports. The official news agency and other outlets reported a police statement said the cause of the 8:55 a.m. blast was still under investigation. So, it's a busy port. 2 people killed and only 30 people injured. Thank God it wasn't as busy as they're claiming it was. So I don't know. Alright guys, I obviously gotta wake up. I'm not doing too hot making these videos. I'm an amateur, but you guys probably think I'm not very fun to listen to at the moment. So I'm gonna hop off here. I'll post articles in the description for you guys. You guys can read these. And later on today, hopefully I'll wake up. We'll get back on and talk some more. Alright? Later guys.